The incessant news coverage of the coronavirus is enough to make you miss Brexit. The World Health Organization have declared COVID-19 to be a pandemic.
We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
The worldwide hysteria that the mainstream media have been subsequently whipping up is absolutely disgraceful. This week we have seen crazy taken to a whole new level. The Democrats and the mainstream media slammed President Trump for supposedly not doing enough to contain the virus. Then, when he suspends all flights from Europe, they go into meltdown. My favourite of all the lefty rants has to be this one from Heather Cox Richardson. I cannot make sense of this. Is he deliberately crashing the American economy and dividing us from Europe? If so, is this Putin's work yet again? A final gift as Trump loses control of the country? That woman is fit for a straitjacket. This, boys and girls, is what happens when you contract both Trump derangement syndrome and Putin derangement syndrome at the same time. Stay away from CNN, kids. The EU threw a wobbly about the US making this unilateral decision. Like a foot-stamping toddler, the European Union displayed their petulance at the President of the United States making a decision about his own country without consulting them first. If anyone was in doubt that these unelected bureaucrats aren't power-grabbing control freaks, just take a look at this.
The European Union disapproves of the fact that the US decision to impose a travel ban was taken unilaterally and without consultation.
So deluded are these globalists that they actually think they should have a say in how the USA, the world's superpower on a different continent, handles the containment of the coronavirus. No wonder my people voted for Brexit. As it turns out, the World Health Organization has declared Europe to be the epicenter of the pandemic. So Trump was right to get the jump on that and ban travel from mainland Europe.
Europe has now become the epicenter of the pandemic.
Trump excluded the UK and Ireland from that initial ban because we currently have a significantly lower number of cases. Want to know why? Because we are islands. Therefore, we do not fall into the Schengen zone created by the EU globalists who abolished all borders across 26 EU member states to allow free movement for all. Borders save lives. As Trump quite rightly pointed out, by taking the initiative to first ban travel from China, then Europe, then being vindicated for doing so after the China-born virus was declared a pandemic and Europe the epicenter, he has undoubtedly saved American lives. China have now declared the virus to be a US conspiracy. They are claiming the Wuhan flu, which originated in Wuhan, China, is the fault of the US military. A Chinese foreign ministry spokesperson said, "It might be the US Army who brought the epidemic to Wuhan. Be transparent. Make public your data. The US owes us an explanation." These people are even more deluded than the EU gang. Elsewhere, people have been following the advice issued by their respective governments and the World Health Organization, like this man in Rome who made absolutely certain that he would not breach the 1 meter social distancing guidance.
Cioè questa sarebbe la distanza di sicurezza per il coronavirus.
Oh yes.
Che meraviglia. Io non la faccio, ragazzi.
This barista in Florence is also using its initiative to ensure people get a virus-free coffee.
Grazie.
Misura antivirus.
Misura antivirus. Grazie.
Not everyone seems to have got the memo about personal hygiene, which must explain why these Iranians are licking the walls of a shrine.
این مرض کرونا رو من خوردم. ان شاءالله شما بلند شی بیا زیارت علی. تمام درا رو آقا حیدر بوس کرد. باری کلا به این معرفت. بچه چند ساله. لیست کرد به چشاش ماری. تمام درا رو لیست کرد. اگه مریضی میکروبیه تو بدن ما بره. بدن بچه هام و مادرمون بره. زائرین علیه به نام سررضا چیزشون نشه. اینجا مال کرونا شده. آقای منم الان اینجا ببینید لیست میزنم هر چی کرونا مال من بیاد. محمد هر چی کرونا
It is probably worth noting that Iran remains the third worst affected country in the world with the highest number of new cases of the virus. Shocking. Meanwhile, Iranian Islamic medical officials are denying all knowledge of the disease and claim that it's nothing but a story designed to take away their religion.
با همه روبوسی میکنیم، دیدار میکنیم. مرقد هم خدمت خانم خواهم رفت. همه جا میپیچیم، همه کاری هم میکنیم، به همه هم نشون میدیم که اینا داستانه. اینا میخوان دین ما رو از ما بگیرن. میخوان صدمه به ما بزنن.
Other Mohammedans believe that the coronavirus is one of Allah's soldiers sent to punish the non-believers.
أما إذا أصابت الأوبئة غير المؤمنين من الظالمين والمعتدين فهي عقوبة فهذا الفيروس جندي من جنود الله تعالى.
Back home in Britain, the shelves of every supermarket are completely bare as people are getting sucked into the sinful scaremongering being pumped out by the mainstream media. Stooping to new lows, we now have the likes of Piers Morgan stepping up from being an annoying prick to an actual public menace, as he declares the government seems to be avoiding draconian shutdown action now because we will all get too bored with it. Trust me, nobody is going to be bored with coronavirus when it starts killing their relatives and friends. We're in a war and everyone needs to wake the up to it. Just when I thought I could not possibly respect that man any less, he publishes something as reckless as that. It is that very rhetoric that's causing widespread panic and fear. He should be done for incitement. Because let's face it, throughout all the hysteria, the left-wing lunacy, and even moments of humour found by those worst affected, the very real byproduct of the mainstream media's propaganda is people physically attacking each other over toilet rolls.
I just want one pack. No, not one pack.
I went to a supermarket on Friday and a pensioner looked at me in utter despair because everything was gone. And I mean everything. There was no meat, no pasta, the shelves were empty. A guy working in the store said they had a full delivery that morning. There are millions of people in Britain who simply cannot afford to panic buy. Old-aged pensioners, single mothers, people on low income, they are the ones who are suffering when people who can afford to are clearing the shelves and stockpiling as if we're facing a world war.
Ma perché ci sono gli scaffali della pasta vuoti? Ma che cosa sta succedendo? Manco quando è scoppiata la seconda guerra mondiale c'era stato un panico così.
I understand that people are anxious. There are so many questions people have, like, will our holiday be cancelled or will Liverpool still win the league? I think the main thing people need to do is stay calm and think of others. I'm so utterly disgusted with the media for generating widespread hysteria. They're doing absolutely nothing to reassure people. They're just blinding us all with doomsday headlines. Our Prime Minister has set out the government's plans to try and delay the spread of the virus. It's impossible to make the virus go away, but they're taking steps towards delaying the peak, which will hopefully save our NHS from collapsing under the pressure. The bottom line is we do not know how this thing is going to pan out. Here in Britain, the worst is definitely yet to come. It's likely that in the not-so-distant future, schools will close. People will be placed in lockdown and most of us will be affected by the disease, which has now seen the cancellation of public events such as St Patrick's Day parades and the London Marathon. The mortality rate is currently around 3.7%. Almost half of the people with confirmed cases of the coronavirus have fully recovered. The chances are, I will get it. You will get it. Up to 80% of us will be affected. But it's important to remember that this is a flu. It will make us ill. It will keep us off work and school. It will prevent us from going to the shops, and in some cases it could see us hospitalised and prove fatal, particularly for people with underlying health issues and respiratory problems. It's important that we rationalise this. These are the same issues we all face with the common flu. I am urging people to stay calm. Let's keep our levels of hygiene up. Let's focus on the facts rather than the mainstream media frenzy, and let's be considerate of one another. It is times like this when individual nations have an opportunity to prove how strong they can be. No globalist agenda or treaty is going to help us. This is a time for every single respective nation to put their own people first. This might be the global disaster that reinforces just how powerful nationalism is. I will leave you with this image. A country on lockdown, people confined to their houses under strict isolation rules. And what do? They sing their national anthem, wave their nation's flag, and pull together as a people. God is always at work.